Everyone, thanks again for coming back with Wrestling with Tragedy. I'm one of the hosts, the King of the Streets, ECW Original Angel. I gotta shorten that up a little bit, and we're really happy that you're back for episode, I'm assuming 5. Am I correct?
Five times.
Five times. And like I said, we've been getting tons of response in regards to our show. I mean, it's just overwhelming of the love that we're getting from all you fans out there. And please subscribe, like, which we are getting. And let me introduce you to one of the greatest people two of the greatest people, Kevin Wong Strowman, Get These Tacos, and Pierce Austin. But let them introduce themselves. I just wanted to lay the groundwork a little bit so everybody gets a feel. But Kevin, please take it away.
What's going on, everybody? First and foremost, thank you so much for supporting us the first 4 episodes. We're here to bring you another great episode with episode 5, Nia Jax, Trash or Treasure. We all have very strong opinions about this, and we're going to dive on into that. But if you guys don't know who I am, I run Wrestling Review Society on Facebook and YouTube. It is a collectible / wrestling fan page where we talk about wrestling and show off our collections, much like these you see behind me. Whether you collect belts, figures, t-shirts, it doesn't matter. If you have it and it's wrestling related, we want to see it. If you want to talk wrestling, we want to talk with you. So it's definitely the place to be. Also, guys, we just launched our Wrestling Review Society Pro Wrestling Tees store. So if you go to prowrestlingtees.com, type in Wrestling Review Society, and order this bad boy, the Wrestle Hub shirt. For some reason, when people see this logo, they can't help but laugh. So I guess it's a good one. But if you go and you order this shirt right now, we are on our way to 25 shirts sold.
I can see my eye.
It makes me feel naughty.
If you order the Wrestling Hub shirt, you are in a drawing to win a free cup from A-Rock Designs. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why do I want just a cup? Well, it's not just any cup. These are fully customizable, wrestling-related, non-wrestling-related.
That's fucking hot.
It does not matter. If you can think it, she can put it on a cup. So order your Wrestle Hub shirt. Get the cup to go with it. We can even put that Wrestle Hub logo on a cup. Get your shirt. Get your cup. Tune in every week for Wrestling with Tragedy. Tune in every Thursday night, 7 p.m. for the War Room, where we interview some amazing people like Vampiro, Nick Aldis, Tim Storm, Royce Isaacs, just to name a few. And with that being said, I'm going to send it over to my good friend Piers Austin. He's going to tell you everything he's got going on. He's going to tell you about our sponsors. He's going to take care of everything. Just no matter what he says, his show's not better than mine. So, Piers, take it away.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Wrestling with Tragedy, episode 5. I am Piers Austin, the host of Shooting the Shit Uncensored, a weekly pro wrestling interview show where I sit down with people from the world of professional wrestling. I am from Multi-Continental Wrestling Alliance, a page which is for wrestling fans, wrestling collectors, wrestling collectors of memorabilia, title belts like this behind me. We have multiple content shows as well. We have a weekly wrestling game show where you can apply to be a contestant and test your wrestling knowledge over there as well. But guys, that's where I'm from. But I also am lucky enough to be one of the hosts of this amazing podcast, which is Wrestling with Tragedy. And I'm really excited to be covering off today's topic. Before we do that, Kevin, let's go through some of our sponsors and pay a little bit of thanks for me. First up, our sponsors are Paradise Customs, a good friend of Kevin and a good friend of mine, Chris Nichols. If you need your championship belt re-leathered, you need it, you want a different, better type of strap than what it comes from, you get a WWE shop belt. The straps, people don't really like them that much. You can send it over to Paradise Customs and he can re-leather it for you. I know Kevin's got a couple of belts done by Chris. And
custom or standard designs available.
There you go. So make sure you head over there and hit up Paradise Customs on Facebook. And next is Immortal Restoning. So we've done your leather work. We've got all that sorted for you. Now let's talk about your stones, your gems on your beautiful championship belt, the things that sparkle and make people go, ooh. If you have a belt that has some old gems or some stuff falling out of it, contact Jeff Parthay at Immortal Restoning and he'll put that shine back in your championship belt.
And if you don't have any belts, we know right where to send you. Piers, take it away.
Oh yeah, baby. Mayan Belts. Our good friends over at Mayan Belts. They've been the sponsor of both my show and Kevin's show, and now they are the sponsor of
I
Wrestling
have
with
no show.
Tragedy. You have a show, Wrestling
Oh.
with Tragedy. But Mayan belts are the best belt makers in the world, in my opinion, in Kevin's opinion, and in Angel's opinion as well. You know, they can make anything that you want. If you want a custom championship belt, if you're a promoter and you're starting your own promotion and you want your own custom belt made for shows, these guys can make it for you at a reasonable price at a very high quality. Or if you just want one of your favorite replica championship belts and you want to walk around your house cutting promos, I'm not saying that I do that, but I'm just saying I'm not denying I do that either. But if you want a replica of your favorite championship belt, Mayan Belts can set that up for you as well.
Well,
But
let me just say something. I mean, even though Mayan Belts, the guy is a great guy, the customer service is ridiculous. I mean, when I put a stamp of approval to this company, it is Kingpin approved. And when the Kingpin says it's a legit company that takes care of their customers to the highest level, then brother, you definitely need to jump on Mayan's Belts. Sorry,
yeah,
Kevin. Sorry, Pierce. I had to say something.
no, please. But yeah, make sure you contact Eddie and Ira Williams on Facebook for Mayan Belts. And last but not least is A-Rock Designs on Facebook, a very good friend of mine and Angel's and Kevin's lovely wife, Ashley Rodriguez. So Ashley Rodriguez, she makes all those beautiful cups, tumblers, t-shirts, keychains, you name it, she can make it, and she can make it looking beautifully. And it's not just pro wrestling themed stuff. She does a lot of great pro wrestling themed stuff. I have 3 cups coming for her. I have one for my daughter and I have one for my son. Both one is a Emma from the Wiggles cup and another one is a Ryan's World Cup, which is big in kids from 4 to 2. And I've got a wrestling cup, which I'm not going to say yet. I'll show everyone when it comes in. But I'm
Absolutely.
excited for that. And if you honestly, as Kevin said, they've just released their pro wrestling tee store over at Wrestling Review Society, and every person who purchases a t-shirt who's in the first 25 goes in the draw to win one of Ashley Rodriguez custom cups. And I'm telling you now, it's not just any raggedy old cup. It is a thing of absolute beauty.
I've been very impressed in the cups. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, this is a popular company. I mean, I'm even on the waiting list. The Kingpin is on the waiting list to get his own cup. I got this bullshit cup right here with nothing on it, and these guys are just flashing.
I'm waiting, man. Look, this is plain glass.
You need to hide that vodka in an actual one of the Rodriguez cups. I'm telling you, the hottest thing out there today.
Absolutely.
So we've covered a lot of different stuff. We've covered sex scandals. We've covered prostitution. We've covered underage solicitation.
It wasn't me.
So we're gonna transition into something that, because let's be honest, guys, we talk about this stuff all the time, and as fathers, as functioning members of society, these things start to get really tough to talk about, especially when you start involving underage females and stuff like that. So we want to break up the monotony, break up the mutiny, and talk about something very near and dear to our hearts, and that is the safety of the boys and girls in the locker room. So, Angel, why don't you explain to everybody what we'll be covering today and start off with your initial opinions. Please, guys, save me for last.
Oh, absolutely. What we're going to talk about today is in regards to Nia Jax and all the injuries that she have given to other female wrestlers, that she's not protecting them. She doesn't really show any type of concern that she's hurting these individuals. And again, I've been in the business for many years and I've been hurt many times, but usually it was unintentional and they still got a receipt from the Kingpin because, you got to take care of the boys and the women of professional wrestling. And lately she's just been disregarding anybody's feelings. She's calling people haters. She's calling people like, hey, if I think the thing is that she just does not care. And I just feel that I would have whooped her ass if I was a female. But again, I'm not trying to be the Kingpin hardcore, but you have to protect your opponent. You have to protect your friend because when you look good, they look good, they make you look good. And when you don't take care of your toys, then basically that's how it is. But Pierce, what do you think on this topic?
Well, I think Nia Jax is a lot.
Hold on. Is that a Mick Foley flannel?
No.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, go ahead.
It's definitely not. Look, this is what I think on the matter. Nia Jax is the biggest female on the roster. and she outweighs and outstands and outreaches these women by a significant amount of weight and height. If she does something that is obviously more of a shoot and is actually like negligent in the ring, she's going to significantly hurt these women. Okay, that's the basic of all of it. And what it comes down to as well, the WWE invests in their superstars, right? So they invest in Sasha Banks's, the Baileys, the Becky Lynch's, the Charlottes, the Asukas. They're investing in these women. Okay. So when investing in them, they're investing in them in long term. If they've got a threat in their investment, say Nia Jax, by putting these women in the ring with Nia, and Nia injures them, WWE is not getting their investment. Now, are they going to get a return on that investment with Nia? I don't think so. And how long is it going to be before Nia is either going to be sent back down into developmental, or she's going to be taken off the road completely and put back into training?
No, I don't think she needs to be put back in training. That's not the purpose of. I mean, she's not skilled as a wrestler. She just doesn't care. That she should have a little bit more sensitivity in regards to taking care of your opponent. I mean, going back in training, she doesn't need training. She just needs to be courteous. I mean, that's just how I see it.
I mean by doing that as a punishment. By her sort of saying, hey, going, all right, you know what, you want to be fucking negligent, you go back to training and you start doing the basics again until you can start performing as a professional at the highest level.
Well, I mean, the thing is this, man. I mean, and the reason I'm doing this right now is because I'm letting Kevin brew. I'm letting that boiler to pop. So that's why
there's a storm coming. Buckle your seatbelts, tighten down your life jackets, because my flood of emotion is about to come through. Angel is saving the main event. Not to say I'm the main event, but I'm definitely one of the most passionate about this. So, guys, please speak your piece, because once you guys ask me my opinion, I love your guys' input, but I would love a good 5-minute window uninterrupted just to say everything going on in my head.
I'm just stirring the pot.
Absolutely, Kevin. And you were the one who pushed for this topic to be discussed.
I agree. But the thing is,
and you know, the thing is, sorry to cut you off there, Angel. The thing is as well, the fact that she is so negligent that she fucked up Becky Lynch's face. She broke Becky Lynch's face, ruined the main event of a
Survivor Series,
big pay-per-view. And what repercussions came of that?
I think the thing is that she is living off the steam of the Samoa legacy, meaning that she feels that she will not be held accountable for her actions because she has the Usos, the Rock, the Reigns. I mean, I just think that's what she's doing, that she's not going to get disciplined. And from my opinion, from being from the outside, I'm looking in, I don't see that she's getting reprimanded for her actions. And I just don't think that she's taking the injury is serious. Like, hey, if you can't handle it, if you can't hang with me in the ring, fuck it. If it was me and I was wrestling her and she would have hurt me, I'll be honest, I would have wrestled smoothly and then chop her right in the mouth and just say, hey, why'd you move? Or kick her in the groin. There's a receipt coming. And that's the thing. I don't think the other wrestlers want to do a receipt and they just take the hit and they just call it good. Me, I would have just lumped her up, just almost like a Regal beating up on a Goldberg, you know?
But that's the thing. Is there someone there that could even physically challenge in a shoot? Who could actually sit there? Like, is Alexa Bliss going to stand up and bitch slap Nia Jax? No. Is Sasha Banks capable of doing that? No. Is Bailey? No. Probably Charlotte, maybe. Charlotte, and even then, Charlotte would get her ass whooped. Like, let's be honest. She's the biggest. She could essentially be the biggest, baddest bully in women's wrestling since the Fabulous Moolah.
I don't know, but Kev, I'm gonna let you roll with it because I see you chopping at the bit, biting the bottom bit. Let me just poke my Dunkin' Donuts croissant sandwich over here while you partake in this conversation.
Go, Cave.
Okay, guys. So I have little backstory. My uncle's in the WWE Hall of Fame. I've been a fan of wrestling forever. I dipped my toe into the indies for about 1.5 years, almost 2 years, and I still do little shows from time to time. I have never seen somebody more careless. I have never seen somebody more consistently in such a short period of time injure and let's call it what it is, guys, almost end the careers of 5 future Hall of Famers. These are not my opinions, these are just facts. Almost ended the careers of Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Carmella, just to name a few. And we can't forget how she clearly almost ended the career of Naomi. I mean, these are issues that go way, way back, and they are so deeply seated. For a couple things I want to address, Angel brought up the fact of the receipt. For those of you who don't understand, a receipt is when someone does something to you, you pay it back to them. You give them a receipt based on their actions. Receipts are important because it lets you know. It's one thing to say, hey, you messed up, it's okay. But when you pop them like they popped you, it triggers something mentally, physically, emotionally. I don't want him to do that again to me, so I better not do that again to him.
And Kev, before I didn't mean to interrupt you, but the best part about a receipt is you don't know when it's coming. You don't give the receipt when it happens.
Absolutely.
You build it.
It used to be called spiking your opponent, and it got changed to being called giving. Well, the initial flaw is a spike. You spike your opponent returns with a receipt. But anyway, Nia Jax is so careless. She is so just doesn't care. She lives off that Samoan name. Okay, she's lazy in the ring. She was not fit to carry a title. She was elevated to the main event of WrestleMania where she defeated Bliss for the title. I personally believe Nia Jax needs to be traded for a used pack of baseball cards and they start over. She wants to sit here and go, oh, you can't hang with me in the ring. You need to toughen up. You need to go get trained. You need to take the proper precautions. We recently seen on an episode of Raw in an empty show where she set somebody up for a buckle bomb, and clearly you could hear the person saying, Nia, I am not set. And Nia said, fuck it, you're going. And she threw her into the turnbuckle. The same injury, the same move that took Finn Balor when he won the Universal Championship and had to relinquish it less than 24 hours later due to a poorly executed, no fault of Seth Rollins. It was a legit accident. But a poorly executed buckle bomb led to one of the top stars being gone for almost a year and never being able to reclaim that spotlight because of it. And she carelessly put somebody else through it. Now, Piers, you bring up the fact of who can go and stand toe-to-toe with her and shoot on her. Enter Tamina Snuka.
But they're related.
Everybody I don't give a shit. You sit here and you say, and she says, oh, my lineage. That's her claim to fame. And once again, this is not my opinion. This is just fact. You take a guy like Jeff Hardy, who has struggled with DUI, who has struggled with drug problems, who has struggled to stay sober, and every time he's off TV, kills his push, rightfully so. I'm not saying WWE did anything wrong. Where my problem is, a guy like Jeff Hardy has a DUI. He is off TV. He loses his push, whatever the case may be. Okay, he made a mistake. The Usos, DUI, the very next pay-per-view, win the SmackDown Tag Team titles. There is clearly something not firing on all cylinders right here. Now, I know we're not talking about the Usos. We're talking about Nia Jax, but I wanted to put that in perspective for the favoritism that the Samoa family has shown. Not to say that they haven't earned everything they've had. Sika and Alpha, Umaga, The Rock, Rocky Johnson,
Tonga
fantastic
Kid.
workers. Just
Tonga Kid.
Absolutely. And I'm not trying to leave anybody out. It's just I can go on and on and on and on. The Samoans are a legendary wrestling family, but she is not one of them. She is claiming to this name. She is claiming to this fame, and she has done nothing but injure and potentially end the careers of so many people. And going to what Pierce said, leading into Survivor Series, we had the hottest rivalry in recent memory with Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey, the SmackDown Women's Champion versus the Raw Women's Champion. And what happened? We were denied the main event because Nia Jax got careless, because she tried to do something she didn't know how to do. anybody else, if this conversation was about anybody else, that person would still be in developmental, if not fired. We were robbed the main event, which, yes, it did lead to the main event of WrestleMania. It did lead to Becky Lynch's ultimate moment happening at WrestleMania. So that was one of the good things that came out with it. And it made Becky Lynch look like an absolute badass. But that doesn't excuse the fact that Nia Jax is careless, that she can't wrestle. She cannot wrestle. When you have a girl, when you have a person, let's not even say girl, when you have a person who is the height of Nia Jax, who is the weight of Nia Jax, who can lift somebody as easily as Nia Jax and the raw power of Nia Jax, and your finishing move is a leg drop, that should tell you she doesn't know how to do anything else.
Burn. No, I mean, I agree. I mean, she's just. If a big move is a leg drop, man, she's a massive beast, and she could be doing more. But again, she probably even hurt him if she tries to do something bigger than that.
They have been breeding her to be a female Brock Lesnar character, this dominant, this over the top, this just
Awesome
go in there and
Kong.
destroy anybody. Yes, Awesome Kong was and I'm glad you bring that up because I'm not targeting plus size wrestlers. Awesome Kong is a fantastic wrestler.
Yeah,
Awesome
she
Kong,
is awesome.
I'm a huge fan of Awesome Kong. When she showed up in AEW, I popped so hard. I love her work. I love watching her. She is absolutely amazing. But when they take this female Lesnar type and they're like, oh, it's obviously Nia. You had this dominant female who could literally rip through anybody with Tamina Snuka years before Nia Jax. You didn't need Nia Jax. You had Tamina the whole time.
Yeah.
Tamina has the skill. Tamina has never injured anybody that I can remember, and she definitely didn't do it on purpose. It definitely wasn't due to lack of training. Tamina is one of the most underrated talents on the roster, and she is believable. She could go in there and destroy Nia Jax, and we would believe it. There's not very many women on the roster that could do that aside from a Charlotte or a Rhea Ripley. But Nia Jax has been handed, not earned, not fought for, not scratched, not clawed. She has been given absolutely everything. And it's fucking sickening because you have awesome, amazing workers like Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Bayley, Carmella, Natalya, Shayna, Jazzy. Jazzy was a great big girl. Jazzy Gabbert from the Mae Young Classic. Amazing, legitimate kickboxer, power lifter, MMA fighter. She had everything you could want in a big girl, but they went with Nia Jax. And Jazzy Gabbert was tested, tried, and true through Japan, the UK, London, Germany, America, Mexico, everywhere you could think of. Jazzy Gabbert had it all.
And she was and she was good to go for the main roster.
If this is the highest point of over a wrestler could be, Jazzy came onto the scenes here. And she only went up. And what did they do? They stuck her as a bodyguard gimmick, which was fucking insulting to everything that woman had accomplished in her career. The only European female wrestler to win the highest belt in Japan wrestling, the Stardom Red Belt. The only European woman to do that. I am so passionate about this because they have these amazing female wrestlers who could have been molded into the spot Nia Jax is in, and they have dedicated their life to do this. And instead of taking Jazzy, Charlotte, Tamina, whoever, and put them in that position, they gave it to Nia Jax based on her fucking name.
Yeah. Tell us how you really feel, and also put a pillow on the table because it's like a gong. You're like about to beat that table to death. But hey, I agree with you 100%. I mean, these other female wrestlers, didn't get the opportunity that Nia Jax is handed to her on a silver platter, and then she's just spitting in people's face by injuring their talent. And I just don't understand why they're not reprimanding her for that and sending her home. Like you say, just send her home without pay. You learn when your pockets hurt. And I just don't agree that. And again, I'm not trying to be mean about her. I mean, I think she's an awesome person as a wrestler. It's just that I just don't think she cares. I mean, you've been listening. What do you think? Oh no, Kevin, get back to you.
One thing, and then I'll be quiet for the next 10 minutes. Just one more thing.
I don't know. You're good.
My computer's hot.
when Ronda Rousey, and I didn't realize how loud it was when I tapped
I'm
on
just
the table.
messing
I
with
apologize.
you.
I got you. When Ronda Rousey went on that podcast and she made the comments about wrestling being fake and winning fake fights, one of the biggest people to speak out was Nia Jax. And Nia Jax said, I hope I can get you in the ring, and I hope we can have this match. I hope to God they set it up, because Ronda Rousey will rip your fucking head off. You overzealous, you conceited, you high on your own supply, stupid person. Look, I love wrestling. Wrestling is a lot of things, and fake it is not. Ken Anderson said it best. Wrestling is real. People are fake. Yes, the outcomes are predetermined. Yes, I get that. Yes, punches are pulled. Yes, kicks are pulled. But slams are real. Falls are real. All that stuff. So I'm not saying Ronda was right. I'm not taking Ronda's side. But if she has the balls to step into the ring with Ronda Rousey in a shoot fight, she will be destroyed. Ronda Rousey will rip her arm off and beat the shit out of her with it. I hope to God that happens, just to shut that bitch up.
I hope they do the kind of brawl for all, but for divas. You know what I mean? And then just have Shayna Baszler just come in there and just fucking throw bombs and just start destroying bitches.
My watch just told me I needed to breathe.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, hopefully they don't bring back brawl for all. That was the biggest mistake of a lot, unless they're going to make it as a work. But anyway, I'm sorry, Pierce, what you was going to say?
So Kevin said a lot of things.
Yeah,
and I want to address them. But first of all, I want to take it back to what you said about giving a receipt, Angel. Now, if someone was to do that to you, what she's done, and you obviously explained how you would give that payback back to them.
He's sweating.
Yeah, I know. He's getting hot. Look, the fucking vein on the side of his head is fucking pulsating.
Keep in mind, the question Pierce is asking, keep in mind, she can't say she didn't know, because this most recent one on Raw, even we heard it through the hard cam. Nia, I'm not set. So the point Pierce is about to make, please keep that in mind. She can't make the argument she didn't know.
I didn't hear that. I gotta check that out.
I'll send you the clip, because I have it saved on my phone. When she picks her up for the power bomb, going to the corner, the girl says no, or she says, no, Nia, I'm not set. And less than a second later, Nia's throwing her into the turnbuckle.
Can you send that to us now while I'm just making this question, and then we can watch it and then you can cover. But
I'll find it and send it. It'll be in our Facebook group chat.
All right, so the question that I had, Angel, is if someone had done that to you in the ring, but it was accidental, would you, or if it was on purpose, how would you know? And then would you give a receipt even if it was accidental? Like if they did it and then straight away went, Angel, fuck man, I'm so sorry, bro, that was an accident. Would you be like, all right, man, cool? Or would you just,
Let me give you a good example, perfect example. It was during the November to Remember Flaming Tables match with Balls Mahoney, Chili Willie, and Tony DeVito and myself. And the angle was that I was supposed to be put through a flaming table. But the thing was, I was very heavy. And I said, and I told Chili, I said, brother, if I don't get up, please push me up in a sitting position. And, because I don't want to lay over the flames. And he goes, brother, I got you. Don't worry about it. So when the match was happening, he was putting the lighter fluid on the table, and they lit it up. When Balls picked me up, Chili didn't help me in the sitting position. So he just flopped me in the flames and set me on fire. That's why I got like second-degree burns on my shoulder. My back of my head was burned, the back of my neck. And I was like hurt. So then after that, we went to the back, and then Chili's like, brother, I am so sorry. I forgot. I was so into the flames. I didn't know the flames were going to go so high. So I was kind of like struck in like awe. And I said, oh, okay. He goes, I know. I said, yeah, receipt. You don't know when it's coming. So he goes, yeah, I know. I owe you one. So then it was in Poughkeepsie, New York, and I got the State Athletic Commission told me, said, hey, Angel, we can't let you wrestle tonight. I said, why? I'm bandaged up. I'm ready to go. And he goes, well, due to the State Athletic Commission, you're injured. You cannot wrestle in Poughkeepsie. But you could go out as a manager for Tony DeVito. So I said, okay, bet. So then DeVito's wrestling, going to wrestle Chili. And I said, hey, all right, Chili, this is the deal. After you beat DeVito, after you hit your finisher, I want you to run to the right-hand corner of the ring. And when you go to the left-hand corner and you celebrate with your hands up, when you step back, I'm going to hit you in the head with a chair shot. And he goes, that's when the receipt's coming. And I said, brother, it's not just coming, it's traveling. And he goes, all right. So then if you watch the video, you see, here comes the Kingpin. He slides into the chair and you can see Chili. You can just see the body language, because he just does this. And then he just steps down and you see this like closed eye motion, like here it comes. And as soon as that motherfucker turned around, I drilled him like I was drilling a spike in a train, in a railroad spike in the ground. Because as I kept continuing hitting him on the floor, I kept saying, receipt, 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 receipt.
That poor dude.
Oh, and he was just like, and then when we went to the back, he came back. He was hurt. And he goes, are we good? He goes, brother, we're good, man. Love you. And give him a big hug and a kiss on the cheek. And that's how I roll. Meaning
brotherhood.
Yeah, brotherhood. But if he didn't, that was a different thing. But if it was intentional, I'll let it go. But if it's done a second time, a third time, I go, oh, that's how it is. I kind of really do it more to people that I'm not really close to. But I still give a receipt, but not to hurt them, just to say, remember this. So yeah, like 9 out of 10, if somebody chopped me and hit me in the face, I go, okay. And then they do it again and I go, oh, it's like that now. And now I'm kicking it up a notch. Okay. And then I'll do a wrestle smoothly. And then at one point, boom, I crack them one. And that's how I would do it. I mean, but again, when I trained under Johnny Raj trained you to be tough, mentally tough, physically tough. So when you got hit or hurt, you continue to push forward and you receipt somebody later. A lot of the wrestlers today, again, I'm not disrespecting them, the training philosophy compared to the 80s, 90s till now are totally different. We were rubbed on by sandpaper to toughen us up to be pros. Remember, I was in the ring with Big Vito, Hugh Morris, Big Sweet Williams, Taz, Mondo Clean, known as Damian Demento at the time. These guys beat the shit out of me. Larry Briscoe stretched me until my ligaments made that snap, crackle, and pop sound. So that's what toughened you up, because I've been hurt in ECW many times, but I kept pushing forward and then I collapsed backstage. So yes, yeah, that's how I will handle my receipts.
Yeah, and I think with Nia Jax, we're still waiting on getting this stuff sent through, but if she can be heard on audio saying, no, I'm not set, I'm not set, I'm not set, and Nia just gone, bye bitch, woo, and launched her straight out, I mean, there has to be some sort of repercussion backstage. There has to be management having the conversation with her going, what in blue hell are you doing where you're putting other talent at risk of injury or potentially fatality? And which can happen. We all know that can happen in the ring.
Well, I mean, the thing is that I would have made her, knowing me, I would have made her the John Cena nose from the Seth Rollins incident. And John Cena is a great guy, meaning he took it with stride. He said, hey, it's part of the business. He didn't receipt him or anything. I'm not that big of a person. I would definitely receipt him. I mean, like, again, Seth Rollins, I mean, Kevin brought up the thing when he hurt Finn Balor, but remember, he did the same thing. Those buckle bombs are dangerous, and he did it to Sting, and that took him out of commission for a very long time. So
his career, man.
Yeah, because I heard might be coming back for an Undertaker angle, but again, that's another show. But the thing is that he hurt Sting, then he hurt Finn Balor, then he hurt John Cena. I would be like, bro, you need buckle bomb out. That is not a safe move. If you cannot execute it correctly, then you need to stop doing it. It looks awesome, but you're fucking people's spine up.
The problem is, Angel, and you can attest to this. The way the buckle bomb is supposed to be executed, and it's supposed to be executed with a bigger guy or a bigger person on a smaller person, because you need to land high in the buckle, clearing your neck in the back of your head. If Correct. You aim for the second buckle, your neck in the back of your head is exposed to that top third buckle. It's only meant to be done when the person is properly set. It's a high toss where they come down on the top buckle. So all this back here is cleared from the other turnbuckle. When you cannot launch somebody that high, or you cannot execute it the proper way, it should not be done. So a man being in the business and seeing this move done plenty of times, is that correct, where it's meant to be done high in the buckle and not to the second?
When you do the buckle bomb, and when you throw them, you kind of have to pitch them into it. You have to, like, not slam them down. You pitch it. So when you land, your arms are going to be draped over the rope and your ass is going to be sitting on the second turnbuckle. So that's the thing you have to do. And yes, it works great on a bigger person, because if you do it on a smaller person, they're going to get that whiplash effect on their neck. So remember, you got to like pitch it, not slam it. You got to pitch it so when they fall, their arms drape over the top rope and it's just a sitting position, basically. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, it's just, like I said, I'm not trashing on Seth Rollins. I just brought that up because you brought up the Finn Balor situation, and I remember the Sting situation. But Nia, if I told Nia and she picked me up, if I was a female and I said, hey, I'm not ready, you know, get me ready. I mean, she could have held her up and did the typical choke and then positioned myself. So, and then I go, all right, you ready? Then I will tell you I'm ready. But the way she just picked her up and then the person said, I'm not ready. And like you said, she can't say, I didn't hear her. Then you just disregard me and throw me, and then I hit my head on the buckle. And luckily, I don't know if she got hurt or not, or she got not a pinched nerve, a stinger or whatever. But I would have got up, and man, I don't give a fuck how big she was. Because remember, just because she's big and people are afraid of her, people get tired of the same motherfucker coming back at you to fight you over and over again. You need to be that one person to like come back and go, motherfucker, it's on, and keep fighting. And they be, look, I'm sorry, I don't want this person. Even though I could kick their ass, I'm tired of whipping their ass because they keep coming back.
The female that she was wrestling reportedly stated that as soon as she hit the buckle, and as soon as I find this video, I'm going to send it to you guys. It was posted to Wrestling Review Society, and I'm just scrolling through the timeline to find it. I know I'm getting pretty close to it because I'm seeing some familiar posts, but the female that it happened to, she actually went on record stating that after the move was executed, she had told Nia she wasn't set, and as soon as the move was finished, she felt a stinging sensation go from her neck down to the tips of her fingers on both of her hands.
Jesus, that's bad. That's scary shit. That's scary shit.
And the worst part about it is that she's young, and then years and years later, like my hip, like I never hurt my hip, but and this is all for me. But when I used to take a clothesline over the top rope to the outside, I used to land on the apron in a sitting position, and it was just always years of like, because that outside apron is very unforgiving, especially watching those guys do power bombs on aprons and stuff like that. And then lately I've been like, man, why is my hip feel like it's out of place? Like it makes a clicking sound, like you're cracking your knuckle. And I thought through the years of all the times I'm flipping over the top rope, landing in a seated position on the apron, I think I've been knocking that joint out of place, like hitting, just hitting that when you're knocking the hinges out of a door, I'm just knocking the hinge out. And apparently, I guess that's part of the injury. So yeah, it's gonna come back to her. She's not feeling it now. Yeah, she can't feel her fingers, but eventually she's gonna like when she's older, she's gonna be like, man, why does my neck feel funny? It comes back.
Yeah, I mean, every bump that you guys take in that ring, is potentially going to lead to an injury. And you mentioned your hip. Over time of continually taking those bumps, and you look at Triple H, doing that finishing move straight on the knees, 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 and even Steve Austin doing the stunner, landing pretty much straight down on your back. That's gonna with someone who already has neck issues and vertebrae issues and stuff like that.
Hogan leg drops. He had both hips done, and I was surprised a leg drop will make you, from a leg, all those leg drops, I'm surprised Bobby Eaton don't have problems because of the Alabama jammer, whatever he used to do off the top rope for so many years, didn't fuck up his hip or got a hip replacement.
Who knows? Maybe he did. No one's heard about it, but
nice guy.
Yeah. Friend of yours?
Well, he was in ECW, and then I seen him a couple times on the road after that. And really nice, real soft-spoken guy. Really soft-spoken. Nicest guy you ever meet. So
with Nia Jax, has she gone on record stating like, "Oh, I'm untouchable because I'm part of the Anoa'i fan"? Is it Anoa'i? Anoa'i?
I think it's Anoa'i.
Anoa'i family. Has she stated like, "Oh, I'm an Anoa'i, so I'm untouchable"?
I just think it's not because she's saying it, it's her actions, her demeanor. I mean, if your dad was, let's say, regardless, let's say your dad was The Rock, or and I'm not using his daughter as an example, but you do get that, like, you know what, I'll tell my dad, or I'll tell my uncle, or and think about it, Rock doesn't have a filter because he already has his money, he already has a legacy. So if he came back and said, hey, what's the deal with my kid? I'm not saying that's what he will do, but I'm just using him as an example. And then Vince's like, what are you talking about? Well, she's complaining that you're mistreating her. And he's like, well, you need to treat her right. Oh, okay, we'll get her right. I don't want no repercussions on my kids. You don't want me coming back and bitching. No, it's not going to happen. I mean, you know what I mean? You have that power a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe.
But do you think The Rock would have still that power, like backstage? Like, yes, he probably has the power to get his kid signed, which I don't know if that's the case or if she's a natural athlete.
I mean, I think he does. Triple H has that power. I mean, if you're one of the top dogs, in there, and not Roman Reigns, I'm just saying, it's just that you have clout. Randy Orton has clout. He has say. He could say "fuck you" and just want. Because once you get that money, once you have that big bank account, you can say what the Undertaker.
Yeah.
If Undertaker goes "fuck you," well, you're fired. Okay. I'm rich. I could go to AEW. I'll weigh out my 90-day no complete clause and go to AEW. They're not gonna do
All right,
that.
guys, I found the clip. I'll be sending it to you guys now.
Oh, I thought you was putting it from from Laserfish or something, because it was taking you forever. Anyway, back to what I was saying. But the Undertaker is the perfect example. If his son came to WWE in developmental and he was having issues with the training individuals at the facility, he will go over there and will crack the whip, and they will be like, hey, treat this kid with kid gloves, unless dad said, hey, whip his ass, make him pay his dues. If he bitches, don't worry about it. He states the
I don't think someone like the Undertaker would be going there and saying, "Who's picking on my kid?" Like, he's come through that age. You know what I mean? Like,
but you got to think about it. Using a law enforcement standpoint, if dad was the chief of police and you was the sergeant over this individual, do you really want to be like, I'm going to treat this kid with kid gloves because I do not want the chief to come at me and put me in his radar and I'd be doing traffic detail in the Arizona desert, giving speeding tickets to vultures. You don't want that. That's the thing. So you don't want that what if factor, itching in the back of your mind. Go ahead, Pierce.
Yeah, look, I can see that, but in saying that, like they really have to be careful with what they're doing, and I think that in the Nia Jax situation where people are actually getting physically hurt, careers are getting shortened, that's a different story, man. And I don't think politically they can get away with allowing it at basically her going, well, The Rock's my cousin. You know what I mean? Like there has to come to a certain part of duty of care that they have to be responsible for.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. And again, I mean, if you're hurting, and again, I'm just making these examples. I mean, I understand if my kid was hurting people, and again, if my kid was hurting people, I will go back and go, hey, man, you need to pull her off TV, because she thinks that she is untouchable. So you need to punish her. If she doesn't care, she doesn't care. And that means that she's not worthy. And again, that means that you will bring her push down. I would, if I was Vince and I said, and she was making statements like, I don't care. Oh, okay. You don't care? Then you don't care. You're on TV. Then guess what? You're going to be doing, No Way Jose entries for a couple months. Helping him out. I know he's not there, but I'm just saying, like, something embarrassing, like when they did with Triple H in the Henry Godwin pig match slop shit because of the click situation. A punishment that's degrading, nothing to degrade her, like, not to like humiliate her, but to put her in her place. If that makes sense.
So Kevin's just sent through the video.
Kevin, take it away while we watch this.
Okay, so what I would like to turn you guys' attention to is I understand there's some background music. Guys, mute your microphone.
I'm muting.
Okay, so I understand there are some background music with this. However, what I want to turn your guys' attention to is the first 10 seconds of the video. She picks up Kairi Sane. Now, like we said from Angel himself, he stated that the buckle bomb is to be executed high on the top turnbuckle. And what we see here is she actually hits the lowest turnbuckle because she was not set properly. And guys, correct me if I'm wrong, can you not clearly hear Kairi Sane say, Nia, I'm not set?
Back of the neck into the bottom toe. And somebody the size and strength
Right there.
Yeah, I just heard it right there. She was screaming it. I'm not set.
She was terrified. She was
Yeah,
absolutely terrified because she
there was
was not set and she knew there was only one way that was going to end. And keep in mind, immediately after that match, she was ordered to go be checked out by WWE medical staff, where she stated, and I quote, "I had a stinging sensation from my neck to my fingertips."
That's scary, man. That is some scary shit. And that's the sort of stuff that Daniel Bryan was experiencing before he was forced into retirement.
Just in case anybody hasn't seen it, guys, I'm going to mute my microphone and go full screen really quick and just show the viewers this quick clip.
Oh.
So if I unmute the microphone, guys, just take a quick listen. Right there, she says, "No, Nia, I'm not set." Keep in mind, that is a move that is supposed to be executed to the top buckle, not the bottom. For the simple fact, your neck, the back of your head, the sweet spot that will knock you the fuck out is all exposed.
Yeah. And that's the reason why in MMA fights that it's illegal to strike the back of the head, because at the back of the head, just below your hairline, there is a very soft spot.
There's something called a brain stem there.
Exactly. And that's why in MMA fights, in boxing fights, Muay Thai fights, in combat sports, it's illegal to strike in the back of the head. From what I had not seen this match at the time of the recording of this episode, but after seeing that, my facial reaction, I was shocked and surprised that at the highest level of professional wrestling, in world wrestling entertainment, that a performer at the highest level would do something like that is disgusting. It's unsafe and could have ended the career of that performer.
Yeah.
And Nia Jax should be taken off TV.
I agree.
She should be sent back to training, or she should be said, you know what, this professional wrestling, sweetheart, it ain't for you, darling.
And as a member of the Samoan family, like if I'm Alpha, Sika, Roman, Usos, The Rock, Rocky Johnson, may he rest in peace, any member of the Samoan family, I am disgusted at that, because not only are they one of the most legendary families in pro wrestling history. Literally every Samoan you can think of is related except Samoa Joe. He's the only one.
He's the only no-I.
But
Yeah,
when
true.
you dedicate your life's work, and you know she has been bred by the Samoan family since she was a child. As soon as she said, "I want to wrestle," they embraced her. They started training her. She began training way before she got to WWE. Let's be honest.
No. She was an adult. She wasn't a young kid when she got into pro wrestling. She was trained.
What I'm saying, Pierce, is as a child growing up around that, she knew, she had to have known some of the tricks to the business, some of the trade to the business. Like, you grew up with in a pro wrestling family, just listening to the conversations they're having, you get knowledge that nobody else is going to get. Do you see what I'm saying now?
Oh yeah, no, I get where you're coming from.
So as a member of that family, I am disgusted at seeing something like that.
And you know, it's funny. I mean, this is not going off topic, but I remember Kid Cash when who do you guys remember the Dups in
Yep. They were in TNA as well for a while, I think.
My favorite story is, I hate saying it because if Kid Cash listens, you know I love you, brother, but it was funny because I was laughing in your face that day. But he kept getting hurt from one of the Dups. I think it was Bo Dup. It kept hurting him. They were doing angles and they were hurting him. So one day, Bo Dup did a splash and literally splashed him right on his face and broke his jaw. So when
I remember that, yeah, I remember the storyline with the jaw.
Yeah, so when he I was in the back and he came in, he's screaming at Bold Up saying that, dude, you need to you need to calm down. You're getting all jacked up in the ring. But of course he's doing this with his teeth grit. And I tapped him on the shoulder, brother, what the fuck's wrong with you? And he goes, he broke my fucking jaw, man. I'm getting tired of his shit. So you know, again, he was just getting ripped. And I think he got a receipt for that, but I can't remember. I gotta ask Kid Cash. You know,
Yeah, I mean, like, Kid Cash is a guy which, there's definitely been stories around there that he would definitely not be one to take a backward step in giving a receipt. But, you look at that situation, and as I said, and I apologize for getting heated on the fact, but after seeing that footage of Nia Jax and how she treated, her colleague, her co-worker, her fellow performer, and just by doing that, it was beyond reckless. It was beyond. Pro wrestling is a display of, it's a performance of profession of a fight. It's a simulated fight scene essentially.
well,
Okay, and that's the thing. I'm not saying it's fake. There's nothing fake in pro wrestling. Okay, there's nothing fake about the injuries that you've sustained, Angel, and the injuries that you've had seen friends sustain and seen your friends' lives be taken. Okay, there's nothing fake about that.
yeah.
But it's a predetermined fight where it's a display, it's a simulated fight scene, and the injuries are real, the risks are real, and the small line of making something look really, really real and really fucking injuring someone, mate, it's a very fine line. It's a
Okay.
very fine line.
Well, I got a question for both of you, and I'm gonna put you guys in the hot seat as the bosses. Okay, we're gonna go with Kevin first. Kevin, you are in charge of the talent. You're in charge of disciplining the talent. So I'm Nia Jackson. You got me in your office and you put me down in that chair. How would you address this situation? And then we'll get Pierce's opinion. All right,
Well,
you're the boss. Spit it out. Start now.
well, I think one of the things we really need to look at whenever we hypothetically make a decision like this, we have to understand that this isn't the first time. A shoulder breaker. For anybody who doesn't know, you set them up on your shoulder, you go down to one knee, their shoulder hits your knee, and then they take a back bump, meaning they land on their back. Charlotte Flair was made to land head first because when she hit the shoulder, she let her go. She didn't lay her down. She let her go, and she went head first. Another one. When I have a company that is building the 4 biggest pay-per-views in WWE on a year calendar: WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. Okay, you have robbed me of a main event that I've been building to for God knows how long, how much money is invested, how much promoting was invested, how much the fans have now been drawn into this. And you are the sole reason why this main event is not happening. Then you take a girl like Sasha Banks. Now, I understand this isn't the UFC. We don't wrestle in weight classes. We can see, take back in the day, Zach Gowen versus Brock Lesnar. You have guys like Rey Mysterio versus The Big Show, Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. But it is on the competitor to understand, okay, yes, like Pierce said, this is a simulated fight. It is not fake. It is a simulated fight. At the end of the day, pro wrestling is a storytelling form by physical contact. The same definition as dancing. Physical contact that leads to telling a story. It's an art form. It's a piece of art. So for you to not only once, not only twice, not only 3 times, but God knows how many times, injure and almost ruin the career. Look at guys like Edge. Look at guys like Sheamus, Jazzy Gabbert, people who have had neck injuries and their career. Daniel Bryan.
Edge.
And I already said Edge.
Sorry.
When you subject somebody to that, now it is not only my job to hold you accountable for your actions, it is also my job to protect every single person that I am going to potentially book you in the ring with. Think of the female talent on the roster right now who are undoubtedly Hall of Famers who do not want to wrestle Nia Jax, or who are afraid to say, I don't want to wrestle her because if I say no, there's my push. I have to be willing to work with everybody. So if I'm sitting Nia Jax down in my office, knowing all these things that are confirmed, these are not alleged like most of the stories we cover. Like last week, we covered Velveteen Dream. Alleged. This is confirmed. This actually happened. We can see it. It's there for us to see with that clip. You mean to tell me this far away from somebody's face, they can't hear you screaming at the top of your lungs? For me and my money, I'm not sending her back to get trained. I'm not sending her back to NXT. Here's the terms of your release. Good luck on your future endeavors. This is not the place for you.
Okay, that's how you address it. And Pierce, how would an Australian mate handle this situation if you were sitting across from Nia Jax and you had phone books under your butt?
Well, I'd be looking at the facts, gentlemen, and I'd be presenting the facts to her. I'd be saying, right, on this occasion, this is what's happened. No one was injured, but could
and
have
have
been.
the video evidence to show her while you're talking to her, correct?
Exactly.
PowerPoint.
You're lucky. You're lucky that this person didn't receive a serious injury, because this is why. And I would break it down for her so simplistic that she understands that when she is in the ring with another performer, with another human being, it is her job to protect that person. And then I would say, explain to me what happened when you had Kairi Sane above your head and she's screaming, Nia, I'm not set. Nia, I'm not set. What were you thinking when she was screaming that? And then what made you decide that it was the right thing to do to launch her into the middle turnbuckle?
And Piers, I don't want to cut you off, but one thing I do want to point out, especially with this one, I don't give Nia Jax a lot of credit for much of anything. But Kairi Sane is such a smaller person. Nia Jax has plenty of power in her arms to lift her the additional 6 to 8 inches to set her properly before she threw her. There's no argument that can be made where that move could not have been made a safe move. The difference being Nia didn't give a shit. Piers, I apologize.
No. And the thing is, because when you are putting it back onto her to explain her actions,
she's admitting her fault.
Yes, but it also is going to be if I'm the head of WWE, I'm the guy that's pulling all the punches, and I'm the one dealing with all the talent. I would be wanting to get to see her reaction, how she's explaining. Because if she's sitting there going, no, I heard it, but I didn't understand what she meant, so I thought she was like screaming, I'm set. Then I was like, yeah, bang. If she's nonchalant like that, then that's going to lead to what decision that I'm going to make. If she's like, it happened, I was just freaked, I was caught up in the moment, I was blah, blah, and she's like genuinely apologetic for this behavior and something she wants to work on, that would also lead to what my decision was going to be. Whether it would be coming to a release would be how she reacted and how she interacted and her responses to the questions that I had around the allegations and obviously the proven allegations of her inflicting injury into other people.
Even if you decide to keep her on the roster, let's say you just send her down for training, or let's say she convinces you that it was an accident. When you take into the Charlottes, the Beckys, the Baileys, and all this other stuff, first of all, I want to go back to a match that was had with numerous females. Nia and Sasha were on the outside. Now, personally, I don't like it when people stand there and wait for someone to jump on them. It makes it look fake. But I understand why they do it. It's for protection. But when Nia bailed out, when Charlotte was doing – now, Charlotte, I give her all the credit in the world. She's an amazing wrestler. When she does that amazing moonsault from the top turnbuckle to the floor, not the ring, to the floor.
Yeah.
When she does that and Nia Jax bails out of the catch and leaves Sasha Banks there to catch her on her own – now, Charlotte's not fat. She's muscled, but she's a big girl.
Yeah,
somebody that is close to double the weight of or double the size of a Sasha Banks. That's unsafe. So knowing all that, even if you do decide to keep her on the roster, is Nia Jax anywhere near your women's title picture?
No, she wouldn't be anywhere near it, and I would probably put her in a heater position where she would be like Sasha Banks's heater. You know what I mean? Like she would be the just the outside thing. She would have very little in-ring thing. Do you remember in ECW 911 that used to come out, Kevin? You remember the crowd would used to chant 911. He'd come out, choke slam a jobber, and then go back. Or if a match was shit, he'd come out. That's what I would have for Nia Jax. Just come out, one move, one choke slam, bang, bang, done, and that's about it. I would have limited stuff in the ring until she could prove and she could build up the respect and the trust with the other female talent, and also just to another thing I wanted to say, also what I would do, I would be then speaking to the senior members of my roster as well. I'd be speaking to the Charlottes. I'd be speaking to the Beckys, the women that have, really been around her for a long period of time in training, and I would get their feedback, their perspective as well. And that's where I
Okay.
would go as well.
So I
would
really
get-
want to get Angel's opinion on this.
That's what
Just because you were in the business, just this one question. If
Mhm.
you're a wrestler, okay, and you're still working in the business, and you find yourself on a card with somebody like Nia Jax, who has injured numerous people, that is well documented, well videoed, well, whatever the case may be, you have the evidence that she is not a safe worker, and she injures you. How much liability is now on the company because they knew she was a risk and they still put her in the ring?
Well, the thing is again, WWE is pretty smart in regards to their contracts, and I bet you they have some stipulations saying that they're not responsible for any type of injury that you sustain in the ring. I mean, they'll take care of you, but you cannot come back in with any type of repercussions on the company. Now, how I would address it to Nia Jax, I would do. I'm going to pull out the playbook and use a CM Punk line. You don't know what you're doing, or you're dumb as fuck. Which one is it? And then, of course, either or. Because the thing is this, I would sit her and I would look in her face and say, what is your problem? Here's the video showing you injuring all these great athletes. You're taking money out of my pocket. You're taking money out of the company's pocket, and you're putting back our storylines months behind. What is the problem? Do you need more training? Do you need time off? Do you need something to help you better yourself?
You just had almost a year off due to double knee surgery.
Yeah.
How much more time does she need?
Well, I'm giving her the option I want to see what she says. I want to see what her response is to my comments, because of course she's probably going to say no. Then you're doing it on purpose. And then if you're doing it on purpose, that means you're spitting in my face. And then I'll probably either do what you just said, let her go after evaluating the situation, or suspend her for a very extended period of time without pay.
I think a girl like Charlotte or a girl like Becky needs to pull the old RVD move and tell her to pick a hand.
Well, the other thing is that you got to look at it like that. Remember back in the days when the APA beat the crap out of Perry Saturn when he beat up my good friend Mike Bell, and they gave him the moppy gimmick. Yeah, the moppy gimmick, and then he got in the ring and got his ass handed to them by the APA. So again, those are other options that could have been, but again, that was then. This is now. I don't think it will fly now, because the boys, if I would have got my ass kicked, I would have just chalked it up and just took it as a learning lesson. Now these people will be like, I'm going to call my lawyer. I'm abused. I'm being bullied, and stuff like that. Then you're not a pro wrestler,
Yeah.
But again, we're at the hour mark. I don't want to continue on my end.
I've said my piece. If you guys have anything else you want to say, go ahead. And then Angel, why don't you wrap us up?
All right, Pierce, go ahead. Do you have anything to say in regards to about this topic?
No, man. I think we really covered it off, and I really enjoyed talking about this one. I think the three of us were really passionate about this, and I really think that we covered a lot of good stuff on this coverage one.
Absolutely. And then Kevin, you said you didn't have anything else. You kind of spoke your mind, and I think you spoke to your mind about for everybody in the world.
The only thing I would add to this is, I can't remember right offhand if she is in the Money in the Bank match, but now you're putting someone who's unsafe. Well, not this year because of the way the Money in the Bank's being done, but when you put her in these ladder matches and these no holds barred matches, now you're just adding to the countless things that can go wrong. So I really want to see something change. I wish nothing but the best for her. I hope every human being on the planet gets what they want out of life. I hope their dreams come true, and I hope they are exactly what they want to be in life. I wish everybody nothing but success. But Nia Jax really needs to take a hard look at herself and figure out where she is, and either A, how she's going to get where she needs to be, or option B, figure something else out.
And I totally agree. And once again, this is the Kingpin. I want to let you guys know out there, Wrestling with Tragedy is the most hardcore podcast out there. We tell the truth. We don't fluff. We don't sugarcoat nothing. And that's why I'm with these two guys, because we say what we feel. We don't care what anybody else thinks. This is our opinion. This is what we think how we feel in regards to this type of topics. And again, we appreciate all you fans listening to us, giving us the opportunity to come into your home And once again, thank you again for subscribing, liking. And this is the Kingpin trying to close off, but I'm going to pass it along to the other fellas so they can close off. Pierce, please give us a goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in for this episode of Wrestling with Tragedy. Please make sure to tune in for next week's episode, episode 6, where we're going to be discussing the tragedy of Chris Candido. No gimmicks needed. And this is one that I'm really interested in covering. I'm a big Candido fan, and this is one that, guys, I've been pushing for quite some time since we started this to really cover off Chris Candido. So, guys, make sure that you tune in for that one. It's a do not miss episode. So make sure you click subscribe, click that bell button, so then make sure that you always get alerts of when we are posting out some new episodes. So make sure to follow that up. Guys, you can catch us both on Multi-Continental Wrestling Alliance and Wrestling Review Society and Wrestling with Tragedy. We are all over social media. Find us there. Guys, thank you so much for having us, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Kevin?
Guys, there's nothing I could say that my two co-hosts haven't already said. Just like Pierce said, if you want more wrestling in your life and you want to be involved with collecting or talking about wrestling, whatever the case may be, if you can't get enough of wrestling, be sure to join Wrestling Review Society on Facebook and YouTube. Also, Multi-Continental Wrestling Alliance, doing fantastic things over there where you can be a member on a weekly running game show and really test your wrestling knowledge. Guys, one more time, we have opened up a pro wrestling tee store where the Wrestling Hub shirt is available. Go there, type in Wrestling Review Society in the search bar, order your Wrestling Review Society shirt, and get entered into a drawing for a free, absolutely free. We pay the shipping, we pay for the cup, we pay for the labor. You pay absolutely nothing. Get involved in this once-in-a-lifetime drawing, wrestling-related, non-wrestling-related, anything you want, we're going to send it to you. All you got to do is order that shirt to enter into the drawing. Guys, thank you so much.
Well,
Angel,
wait, Kevin, before you, I can't let you go without putting up the website for your wife's business so the fans can understand this is the hottest cup out there. Please. Oh, perfect. Guys, do it. You're not going to regret it. That is the hottest cups. I'm speechless, man. I'm still waiting for mine. Please. This shitty cup ain't working.
It's not just cups. It's cups, hoodies, shirts, keychains, anything you want. Completely customized the way you want it. If you can think it, she can do it.
I got 3 coming, man. I'm excited to see them.
I'm looking at yours right now, and it's pretty badass.
I'm waiting on mine. And this is the Kingpin, King of the Streets, along with Pierce Austin and Wong. Get these tacos. Strowman, Kevin Rodriguez. Tune in next week. You're not going to miss it. You're going to love it.
See you guys next time.